Sludge Bomb will be taking care of Electrode. The opponent probably thinks they can tank a Frenzy Plant nuke us with the Earthquake. Well, today, trainer, you find out that this showcase is all about the beam. Welcome back to the channel. We're back at it with that triple shadow destruction with our first shoutcast of season 17. However, this one really is a banger. The damage output from this team is just absurd. That's the only word I can use to describe what you're about to see. We've got Shadow Venusuar in the lead. However, there's no Sludge Bomb. We're running a full grass moveset with Solar Beam as that Hail Mary. Because things like Talonflame and Skarmory are now absolutely everywhere, they're top meta kings. We're running double electric in the back to try and hard counter some of these people looking to run BB, ML lines in the opening part of the season. Shadow Electrode will be operating as the safe switch on the team with its own party trick, that Hail Mary of a Hyper Beam, and my gosh do we land some beams. Shadow Alolan Graveler will be operating as the closer. However, we're not on a full rock moveset. We're going to run in that Thunderbolt for some extra Skarmory coverage. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, we found ourselves a huge core breaker. If you're ever wondering what your team's weak to, set a party, queue into GBL, and you'll soon find out. We say switch into Electrode. We go for the discharge, and the opponent actually choose to no shield. So if we had foul play, we'd actually be sitting in somewhat more of an advantageous spot. But undeterred, Cutlassboy just completely sacks Electrode, and at least we've got this Abomasnow down below half health. We now send in a grab. The Volt switches are resisted, and Graveler's going to need to start shielding. Of course, the opponent masturbate us like a savage, and things have gone from bad to worse. This is enough for an energy ball, so Cutlassboy is now forced to 2-shield. The opponent full send the energy ball. They're not wanting to get farmed down, pivot out into the silly electric fish. Cutlassboy goes for the Rock Blast bait. Rock Blast forced the protect shield, and switch timer pops up, and it's now Venusaur time. Venusaur does, of course, completely wall Lanturn. However, we're so glassy. You can see Thunderbolt gets us down below half health. Cutlassboy forced to throw the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant goes unshielded. The opponent now send out Mantine. Mantine not going to appreciate this Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant forces the opponent's final protect shield. The opponent commits to the full wing attack, farm down, back out. Comes Graveler. Cutlassboy takes the extra. The opponent throw the aerial ace. We withstand the damage. Cutlassboy going to be nuking this Mantine out of the sky with the Thunderbolt. Can we get the Volt Switch farm down before Abomasnow reaches the Weather Ball? We cannot. The opponent wins an incredibly close game with 1 HP and a dream. GG's to that opponent. Heading into their next battle, lead Shadow Venusaur into Galvantula. 2 for 2 on lost leads. We see the instant pivot into Electrode, and this opponent's actually running Fury Cutter, which is more advantageous for them in this matchup. Cutlassboy farms up, throws the discharge, force the protect shield. The opponent lightly fearful of the potential foul play. We're going to see Cutlassboy match shields. The opponent full send an energy ball. That is going to allow Cutlassboy to overfarm, reach the discharge before the opponent reaches charge move number 2. And despite this being resisted, it still secures the knockout. The opponent now sending Crobat. Are you serious? However, the opponent make a very nice catch. Catching the discharge onto Alolan Mola. Alolan Mola invests that protect shield. They commit to the full water gun farm down. And now it's time for Venusaur to have a tasty little snack. Alolan Mola does have access to Psychic as a very nice coverage move in this matchup. Sweet Cutlassboy invests his final protect shield. The opponent, of course, send the Psychic. And oh no, Cutlassboy going for that bad manners Solar Beam. Solar Beam, huge overkill. Solar Beam secures the knockout. We see the pivot into Graveler, back out. Comes Crobat, and Cutlassboy is going to nuke this thing out of the sky with the Thunderbolt. GG's, and thanks for playing. Of course, we're still in the very early part of the season, so if you're going to run Crobat, I'd recommend Air Slash. Not that Air Slash is a particularly good move, but it's objectively better than Bite. 3 for 3 on lost leads. Again, we see the safe switch into Electrode, and the opponent answers our Electrode safe switch with Surfetch. Surfetch shields the discharge. These neutral counters are absolutely tearing apart Electrode. However, Cutlassboy looks like he wants to play out the one shield. We shield the Leaf Blade. Return fire with the discharge, but Cutlassboy actually gets greedy. Plays to a CMP tie that he does not win. So a bit of a wasted shield. However, Cutlassboy can now send in Venusaur. Venusaur gets the full Vine Whip farm down. Venusaur will be temporarily switch locked when the opponent returns. Actually does a huge favour, waiting out their clock, back out. Comes Golbat. This is only a poison fang. We see the instant no shield deployed. The opponent then chooses to give up switch, sending out 2 cannon. Holy cow, look at the Volt Switch damage. This is only a Drill Peck. We see the instant no shield deployed. Drill Peck, of course, is resisted, or actually double resisted, as both electric and rock resist flying. Back out comes Golbat, and you know the drill. Rock Blast will be forcing the opponent's final shield, and Graveler once again closing strong with that huge thunderbolt nuke. GG's and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Venusuar into Poliwrath, finally a 1 lead. The opponent opting to stay in, of course they have got that Icy Wind coverage, the opponent safe switches into Knocked Out and we answer with Electrode. I see no reason for the opponent to bait, however Cutlassboy not interested in shielding the Shadow Ball. Electrode does tank that like a boss. We then overfarm Return Fire with the discharge. It looks like the opponent looking to make a play at switch, however that just is not going to happen. Electrode already at the second discharge. The opponent still opting to play it out. However, trainer, you're going to be so sad. Cutlassboy can shield this up. That Volt Switch will be securing the knockout. So the opponent has actually 2 shielded and still lost switch. The opponent's final Pokemon is Ampharos. Holy cow, Venusaur's about to sweep. Out comes Venusaur. Cutlassboy reaches the Solar Beam. My god, this Ampharos has a family. We get a huge amount of lag, but no lag will be saving the opponent's fate. Solar Beam vanquishes Ampharos back to their Pokeball. We get a huge amount of lag. I imagine the opponent has not only closed the app, they've probably uninstalled the game, never to play PvP again. Cutlassboy gonna throw one more Solar Beam, hit no bubbles, and that is gonna be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. My voice is cracking all over the place. Cutlassboy making me sound like a 12-year-old schoolgirl, as I really can't keep my shit together. Moving on to the next battle, we see some early season spice. The opponent leads Vaporeon and safe switch into Jolteon. Venusaur not only advantageous against the lead, very advantageous against the safe switch. We force a protection with the Frenzy Plant. Look to catch a discharge onto Graveler. The opponent doesn't throw, so we take the initiative. Throw the Rock Blast. Rock Blast forces a Protect Shield. Jolteon's only coverage move is Last Resort, and due to our Rock typing, that will also be resisted. The opponent throw the Thunderbolt. We withstand the damage. Look to throw the Rock Blast, but lose CMP. It looks like Cutlassboy is just going to take his shield advantage. Of course, switch isn't really important as we've also got Electro that can handle that Vaporeon. The opponent's final Pokemon is Flareon. Cutlassboy reaches the Solar Beam. How much damage is this going to do? Of course, it is resisted, but Venusaur doesn't give a fuck about typings. We then send out Electrode to answer Vaporeon. Cutlassboy gonna shield his Aqua Tail, and I think we're gonna go for a very bad manners 1 HP boom with the Hyper Beam. Vaporeon, I'm so sorry, and I'm so sorry to this trainer. GG's, and thanks for playing. Oh man, we're 7.5 minutes into a 20.5 minute shoutcast, and I think I'm just gonna start crying at some stage. Great lead, Venusaur into a Charge Beam Lanturn. Of course, you obviously want to run Spark or Water Gun. The opponent safe switch into Skeledirge, and we answer with a grab. We correctly shield up the Shadow Ball, throw 1 Volt Switch and the Rock Blast for optimal fast move time, and the opponent invests their first Protect Shield, but Graveler able to outpace the Rock Blast. Number 2, the opponent invests both Protect Shields, desperately looking to flip switch. We see Cutlassboy instantly no shield, saying if you want Switch Trainer, enjoy yourself, as we've got all shields down and 2 Pokemon running beams. We send out Electrode. I imagine we go for the 1 shield farm all the way down, and it's going to be Hyper Beam time. The opponent bait with the disarming voice, then give up switch, sending out Lanturn, and Lanturn is greeted with the Hyper Beam. Hi Lanturn! Bye Lanturn, get absolutely wrecked. The opponent's final Pokemon is Clodsire. It looks like we're staying in, forcing the energy off the opponent. Sludge Bomb will be securing the knockout. The opponent probably thinks we can tank a Frenzy Plant, nuke this Venusaur with the Earthquake. However, trainer, surprise. We've got Beam number 2. Solar Beam one-shots the bulky Quag. Back out comes Skeledirge. We get the Vine Whip farm down and win a very fun game. Moving on to the next one. Venusaur into Stunfisk, the Unova variant. Something I usually call a pancake. The opponent safe switches into Infernape, and we answer with Graveler. Graveler, a pretty good response here. Due to our Rock sub-typing, we do resist all this Fire-type damage. Rock, not the best defensive typing, but at least it does resist Fire. Graveler already at Rock Blast. Number 2, and the opponent once again desperately looking to realign. This time Cutlassboy says, not today, trainer. No, the opponent also YOLO the beam. What is going on today? Cutlassboy probably invested the best Protect Shield of his life. The opponent's final Pokemon is Slowbro, and I am in shambles. Thunderbolt nearly one-shots despite only being neutral. We now send in Electrode. Electrode gets the full Volt Switch farm down. Oh no, we're going to beam him again. However, is it going to be a Hyper Beam or is it going to be a Solar Beam? No, the opponent throws the discharge. Of course, Mud Bomb would be the way to go. We fire off the Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam doesn't one-shot. We Vine Whip farm down and take that game. Heading into the next battle. We see the Battle of Kanto start as Venusaur, very advantageous in this matchup. The opponent safe switch into Solrock. Holy cow, Solrock is not a Venusaur counter. We throw the Frenzy Plant, forcing a Protect Shield. We then look to make a Rock Slide catch onto Graveler. The catch doesn't look the cleanest. However, we do catch regardless. Rock does not resist Rock, and that actually did enormous damage. However, Graveler able to make the Rock Blast. Rock Blast goes unshielded. The opponent's already down one shield. We leave minimal farm for Quillfish. Holy cow, this opponent getting hard countered left, right, and centre. We send out Electrode. Quillfish this season did get access to Scald. We see the shield deployed. The opponent bait us like a savage with the Acid Spray, but no bait will be saving this opponent's fate. We've got the Hyper Beam locked and loaded. Does the opponent respect the damage? Oof, yes they do. However, we can pivot back out into Venusaur, and there's plenty more beams to come. Solar Beam, again, huge overkill, and we take that game. I've been on YouTube for over 2 years now, and I think this is the most fun I've ever had. Another Pancake in the lead. This Pancake opting to stay in, and hopefully they're going to chip us with a Mud Bomb and not throw a resisted discharge. This opponent knows their typings, throw the Mud Bomb. The opponent continues to stay in, so Cutlassboy over farms, throws the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant goes unshielded. The opponent now send in Blissey. Blissey, without a doubt, one of the bulkiest mon in existence. However, do they know about the beam? Solar Beam! Oh, goes shielded. We see Cutlassboy safe switch into Electrode. Blissey is so slow to charge moves. Cutlassboy able to outpace to the Hyper Beam. Is the opponent willing to two-shield? No, they're not. Hyper Beam near one-shots. After around 26 years, Blissey finally reaches a charge move. They also throw a beam. Cutlassboy invests a very good shield. The opponent's final Pokemon is Blastoise, and Blastoise is about to get wrecked. The first discharge, I was going to say forces the final shield, but evidently the opponent has just given up. GG's, and thanks for playing. Venusaur into Lanturn. Great lead. The opponent safe switches into Charizard, and hi Charizard, meet Agrav. The Blast Band would be resisted, but Agrav not the bulkiest. Holy, what is going on? The opponent YOLO and Overheat, which would have done a lot of damage. Cutlassboy doesn't commit to the full Volt Switch farm down. He opts to throw the Rock Blast. The opponent sends out Swampert. Agrav goes for the single resisted Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt forces a Protect Shield. I've got no idea why you'd shield that. But to be honest, I've got no idea what's going on for pretty much 99% of this shoutcast. The opponent throws the Surf. Surf and Overheat, what a combination. Venusaur comes in. We see the Simul swap. Out comes Electrode, and out comes Lanturn. We see the instant no-shield deployed. The opponent throws the Surf. We withstand the damage. And Cutlassboy again is not baiting. Does the opponent respect the damage? Oof, why would you shield that? Of course, the win con is with Venusaur, so we're going to let Electrode go down. We tank the Surf. Back out comes Venusaur. Venusaur farms up to the double. One Frenzy Plant. Gonna get rid of the silly electric fish. And one Frenzy Plant, of course, going to get rid of Swampert. Venusaur unfortunately lands no beams in this battle. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Venusaur into Mantine. Two better response in the back. This time we safe switch into Agrav. The opponent builds up some energy, then send out Dragonair. Dragonair, incredibly glassy. Usually shield a lot. We go for the Rock Blast. Rock Blast actually goes unshielded. So if we had Stone Edge, we could have nuked this thing into oblivion. Cutlassboy shields up the Aqua Tail, looking to make a play at switch. We return fire with the Rock Blast. This time we see Dragonair invest that Protect Shield. Can we make one more Rock Blast? Oof, the opponent throw it. Very good timing. Recognising we would have made it if the opponent didn't throw. However, we have now put this Dragonair into range where we can Vine Whip farm him down. We wait out our clock, send out Venusaur. Venusaur gets the resisted Vine Whip farm down. Back out comes Mantine. Mantine goes straight for the Aerial Ace. We see Cutlassboy invest his final Protect Shield. Cutlassboy doesn't quite build up to the beam, but the opponent likely respects a neutral Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant does force the opponent's final Protect Shield, then go for an Aerial Ace catch. The opponent shows great discipline, hold their energy, and fire off the Ice Beam. Ice Beam does over half our HP. The opponent's final Pokemon is Froslass, and again, no foul play is going to be rough. Discharge just doesn't quite get the job done. However, the opponent looking for the full Powder Snow farm down. They don't get it. It's a Simul KO. Back out comes Venusaur, we make the Frenzy Plant and win a very well played game. GG's to both trainers. Heading into the next battle, Venusaur into Talonflame. A huge yikes if I ever did see one. We've got two very good responses in the back. We safe switch into Electrode. The opponent build up some energy and then send out Vigoroth. Do they know? Hyper Beam goes unshielded, get wrecked Vigoroth, and just like that, switches ours. The opponent's final Pokemon is Craddle. We reach the discharge, which is resisted on the CMP tie. The opponent already petrified of Electrode's damage output. Invest the Protect Shield. Cutlassboy now very much in the driver's seat. As we get to realign, we now send out Venusaur. The opponent is still switch locked, so Venusaur goes straight for the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant hits for neutral due to Rock taking super effective and grass resisting grass. Craddle hangs on with a sliver of HP. The opponent very strangely throw the double resisted grass knot. Again, no idea why Rock would hit for neutral. However, we Simul swap. Graveler's going to be able to get the full Volt Switch farm down after 2 shielding, and Craddle is going to die to 1 Volt Switch, and despite hard losing lead, Cutlassboy takes the dub. GG's. Tough lead. Venusaur into Froslass. Froslass, of course, has got access to Triple Axle this season. The opponent answer our Electrode safe switch with Shadow Machamp. Discharge likely forces a Protect Shield, which it does. Let's see if Cutlassboy looks to make a play for switch. It looks like Cutlassboy just happy to take his shield advantage. Cross chop does secure the knockout. I do quite like this play, to be honest, as Venusaur doesn't have a great matchup against Froslass in even energy, but with an energy lead, it does have a good matchup. The opponent goes straight for the cross chop. Cutlassboy doesn't respect it, gets the full Vine Whip farm down. What the heck is that? A dragon using Ice Fang. Is that Artabax? It is an Artabax. The resisted Frenzy Plant does huge damage. We'll then pivot out into A-Grab. It's A-Grab versus the world. We see the instant shield deployed. The opponent throws a Triple Axle, vamping up their own attack. Cutlassboy returns fire with the Rock Blast. Rock Blast forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. All Cutlassboy needs to do here is make 2 further Rock Blasts. Of course, we're going to invest our final Protect Shield here. Artabax is nowhere near a charge move. We throw 1 Rock Blast, getting high Froslass by Froslass. I think we're only 1 Volt Switch away from the next one, which we are. And Graveler is going to complete a very nice sweep. GG's and thanks for playing. What a fun team. All 3 Pokemon able to sweep. In the next battle, oof. This is another huge core breaker. If I'm being honest, Venusaur is probably our best response, as due to Gligar's sub-ground type and they single resist electric, we shield up the Aerial Ace, overfarm, return fire with the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant, of course, forces our shield back. Cutlassboy looking to make the Aerial Ace catch and stay in school, kids. Learn to count. A very nice catch there from Cutlassboy. Aerial Ace does absolutely nothing, and the opponent sends out a Bubble Jellicent. Bubble has been buffed this season, and it is now doing even more damage to our squishy Graveler. The opponent, like a savage, bait us with the Bubble Beam, but undeterred, Cutlassboy farms up, throws the Rock Blast, forces the Protect Shield, and no debuff is going to save Jellicent from that huge Thunderbolt coverage. Get wrecked, Jelly. It's now all shields down. If Gligar does return, which it does, they're going to have a tough time of farming us down. The opponent recognising they're unable to farm down, opt to throw the Aerial Ace. Aerial Ace does secure the knockout. Back out comes Venusaur. The opponent doesn't make a catch, so Gligar is going to get vanquished. Back to their Pokeball. Cutlassboy has residual energy. The opponent's final Pokemon is Greedent. We throw the next Frenzy Plant on the CMP time. This does so much damage. Greedent might think it's thick, but evidently not thick enough. Body Slam, of course, takes care of Venusaur, but all Electrode's got to do is reach 1 discharge. And I don't even think we need to hit any bubbles. Cutlassboy agrees. And that's going to be all she wrote. GG's and thanks for playing. And sadly, we're moving on to the final battle. Huge shout out to Cutlassboy. I've had so much fun shoutcasting today. Venusaur into Dubwire. Pretty good lead as the double kicks are resisted. The opponent goes straight for a Body Slam. Body Slam, a pretty good move. And it does a lot of damage to the squishy Venusaur. We then throw 4 Vine Whips for optimal fast move timing and the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant secures the knockout. Out comes Altaria. We see Cutlassboy pivot into A-Grab. The opponent stays in. Dragon Breath tearing us apart. Cutlassboy goes straight for the Rock Blast. Rock Blast forces the opponent's first protection. They're farming up a lot of energy. Moonblast, of course, would be lethal from here. The opponent actually YOLO the Dragon Pulse, then send out Abomasnow. The last Abomasnow did beat us, so Cutlassboy looking for redemption. Rock Blast goes unshielded. The opponent near gets one shot. Agrav has done its job, so we can just save our shield for Electrode, commit to the resisted. Volt Switch farm down. The opponent actually owed an energy ball, which is even better for us. Whoa, what's going on here? It looks like Cutlassboy was trying to land a beam on Altaria. It's not going to happen. We've made this game a lot more complicated than we need to, but either way, it's going to be signed, sealed and delivered. Electrode throws the first discharge, which will of course be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. The opponent is going to outpace us to a Sky Attack. We've still got a Protect Shield too high behind. We shield up the Sky Attack, return fire with the second discharge. It's going to be high Altaria, by Altaria. GG's and thanks for playing. Cutlassboy, that was incredibly fun. Huge respect for that very, very spicy showcase today. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new. Consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel, like Cutlassboy did. A link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching. And I will see you all in the next one.